When Zac Efron stepped onto that stage for Bill Nye's Earth Day special in April 2021, the internet collectively lost its mind. The face staring back at millions of viewers was almost unrecognizable. Gone was the chiseled jawline that had graced magazine covers for over a decade, replaced by something swollen, distorted, and completely alien to the Zac we thought we knew. His jaw had seemingly doubled in size, carrying a bloated appearance that sent shockwaves through social media within minutes. Memes exploded, comparing him to handsome Squidward and Lord Farquaad. But here's what makes this story fascinating. Zac acted like absolutely nothing had changed, carrying on with his usual charm as if the world wasn't staring at what appeared to be a completely different person. The reason this transformation hit so hard wasn't just the dramatic change, it was who it happened to. For nearly 15 years, Zac Efron had been the gold standard of male beauty in Hollywood. He was the guy whose poster hung on bedroom walls across America, whose face sold magazines, and whose mere presence could make teenage girls scream. Seeing him like this felt like watching a piece of our collective childhood crumble in real time. To understand how shocking this moment was, we need to go back to the beginning. Zac showed incredible talent from an early age, with parents who enrolled him in theater productions and acting classes. By his teens, he was landing roles in community theater and appearing in TV movies like Miracle Run and guest spots on Firefly and Summerland. The irony is, acting wasn't even his main plan. Zac was an excellent student with a 4.3 GPA who wanted to go to college and possibly medical school. But then Disney came calling with High School Musical, and everything changed overnight. When that movie premiered in 2006, it became a cultural phenomenon. Nearly 8 million viewers tuned in, making it one of Disney Channel's most watched original movies. The soundtrack became one of the top-selling albums in the country, with Breaking Free climbing to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Disney immediately greenlit 2 sequels, each bigger than the last. By High School Musical 3 in 2008, Zac wasn't just a teen actor anymore, he was a global superstar. Everywhere on magazine covers, red carpets, and his face literally plastered on products worldwide. He was no longer just playing a character, he was the brand. And whether he realized it or not, Disney had turned him into the blueprint for the modern teen idol, with all the pressure that came with it. And success came with a trap. The very thing that made him famous started boxing him in. When he starred in Hairspray in 2007, it seemed like a departure from Disney, but his character Link Larkin was essentially Troy Bolton with different hair. Same heartthrob formula, different setting. This pattern continued with 17 again, same character archetype, different plot. By this point, Zac was openly frustrated about being typecast, but every time he tried to break free, the industry pulled him back. The interviews from this period are painful to watch. Instead of discussing his craft, reporters focused on his appearance, his hair, even flirting with him on camera. One interviewer told him he was quite stunning and admitted her colleagues encouraged her to flirt with him.
You are quite stunning in real life, I must say.
Thank you.
That sounds really odd.
It was clear that no matter how hard he tried to be taken seriously, the world only wanted to see him as a pretty face. Everything changed when he decided to embrace what Hollywood wanted. For the lucky one in 2010, he trained with Navy SEALs and packed on 20 pounds of muscle, transforming from slim Disney kid to physically imposing leading man. But even with more challenging performances, he still won the same Teen Choice Awards, proving the industry still saw him as just the pretty boy with bigger muscles. This led to films where his body became the main attraction. In The Paperboy, he spent most scenes shirtless, with one review noting that Efron was cast as an object of beauty, exploited by the camera in ways films usually reserve for women. The peak came at the 2014 MTV Movie Awards, when he won Best Shirtless Performance, accepting the award shirtless after promising fans he would if he beat Thor. As he stood on stage, thanking his fans, singer Rita Ora unexpectedly walked up behind him and helped rip his shirt off, sending the crowd into a frenzy and turning the moment into an instant viral sensation. Behind this success, Zac was struggling with serious demons. The constant pressure and reduction of his identity to just his appearance was destroying his mental health. He began using alcohol and cocaine to cope, initially socially, but quickly spiraling into dangerous territory. He was missing days on set, showing up hungover, and his loved ones were genuinely worried. Thankfully, he recognized the problem and entered rehab, getting clean. But the pressures that led to his substance abuse hadn't changed, and his next role would push his body to limits with lasting consequences on his health and appearance. For Baywatch, Zac achieved superhuman conditioning, with body fat levels that professional bodybuilders maintain only for competitions. His muscle definition became so extreme, he looked like a living action figure. But the secret wasn't just diet and exercise. Years later, Zac admitted to using diuretics, powerful drugs that remove water from the body to enhance definition. These substances are incredibly dangerous, causing insomnia, depression, and organ damage. Zac experienced all these side effects, spending months recovering from what he'd put his body through. Despite achieving the perfect physique, Baywatch was a commercial and critical failure. Zac was even nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst Actor, proving no amount of muscle could save a bad movie or earn him respect as a serious performer. After this wake-up call, Zac stepped away from body-focused roles.
I realized that, when I was done with that movie, I don't ever want to be in that good a shape again. Really. It was so hard.
He returned to musical theater with The Greatest Showman, which grossed over $400 million worldwide and earned multiple awards. For the first time in years, he was recognized for talent rather than appearance. He followed this with his most challenging role ever, playing serial killer Ted Bundy in Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, earning praise for capturing Bundy's dangerous charm. Then came his Netflix series, Down to Earth, where he traveled the world, exploring sustainable living. This show revealed a different Zac, more mature, thoughtful, and genuine than his polished image. Audiences responded positively to this authentic version, and it seemed he'd finally evolved beyond his teen heartthrob origins. Which makes what happened next even more shocking. When Zac appeared on that Earth Day special in April 2021, the internet erupted with speculation about his dramatically altered face. Theories ranged from botched plastic surgery to steroid abuse, with memes spreading faster than news. For over a year, Zac remained silent, letting speculation grow wilder and more hurtful.
If he was going to get plastic surgery, he wouldn't get that. Come on.
You got a good job, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're just stirring the pot.
No, it was funny. It sucked. I almost died, but we're good.
When he finally addressed the rumors in Men's Health, his explanation was surprising. He claimed that in 2013, he slipped in his house and smashed his chin on a granite fountain, requiring his jaw to be wired shut. The real change happened years later when he stopped physical therapy. His jaw muscles grew larger to compensate for the injury, creating the dramatically different appearance that shocked the world. But here's where things get complicated. When photos from the Iron Claw surfaced, showing Zac in the most muscular shape of his life, new theories emerged. To play wrestler Kevin Von Erich, he'd bulked up to unprecedented proportions, looking like a competitive bodybuilder. Some fans noticed what appeared to be bubble gut, a distended stomach often associated with growth hormone abuse, a substance that can also alter facial structure. The timing is suspicious. The period when his face changed dramatically coincides with his most extreme physical transformation yet. Growth hormone doesn't just build muscle, it can literally alter skull structure, jaw shape, and internal organs. Given Zac's history of using performance-enhancing methods, including dangerous diuretics for Baywatch, the idea that he might have used more extreme substances for the Iron Claw isn't unrealistic. The tragic truth is that even after delivering what many consider his best performance in the Iron Claw, conversations still revolve around his appearance rather than his talent. No matter how much he tries to evolve as an actor, the world remains obsessed with how he looks rather than what he can do. Zac Efron's story is a cautionary tale about the price of fame and the trap of being valued primarily for appearance. He became so successful at being beautiful that it became impossible for people to see him as anything else. Whether his transformation resulted from an accident, medical necessity, or something more deliberate, it represents the final chapter in a career-long struggle between who he wanted to be and the image the world demanded he maintain. The boy who once dreamed of being a doctor became a prisoner of his own perfect face, and when that face changed, the world couldn't handle it. The real tragedy isn't what happened to his appearance. It's that after all these years, we're still talking about how he looks instead of who he is.